Hello, everybody. Hope I am sounding all right. I'm trying my headphones again tonight, so I'm not really sure. I just plugged them in before I went live, so I wasn't sure if it would connect to the app or not. So hopefully it worked. Hey there, Linda. Hey there, Amanda. Hey there, Shauna. Welcome, Jenny. Thank you. Happy Friday to you, too. Thank you guys for the thumbs up. Hope y'all are doing well. Decided to pop on for a little bit here, give you guys some updates, let you know what was going on. I know it had been a little while. Again, just kind of fell into one of those cycles where I really couldn't get much done and really couldn't get anything done that I was wanting to do at the very least. And so it made it kind of difficult to hop on and do anything and to go live or whatever. And so, yeah, I just kind of let it go for a little while and took a break. And hopefully we'll get back on track here soon. But I am going to try and get on the road here relatively quickly and try and get a few episodes filmed out there on the road. Hey there, Ian. Welcome to the live stream. But yeah, I'm going to try to get a little bit filmed here, hopefully over the next week or so, in some areas where I can be, again, alone and not have to worry about much interaction with other people and be able to maybe offer some new content instead of just these rehashes of old episodes. As much fun as that it's been to edit and put together over the last few weeks and the last few months, it's been a little bit tedious, to say the least. So I would like to get back out there and make some regular episodes once again. But I will be making a few more episodes. I got a few in the works right now. I am going to be releasing trying to think what's coming up here. I've got an episode of just random strange things that happened over the years. Sort of like if anybody has remembered there was an episode that came out where we were in a cemetery and a rabbit ran into the woods, and right at that point where the rabbit ran into the woods, there was like a few hidden graves, and so it was kind of interesting that that happened. And then another time we found it looked like a sacrificed or potentially buried bird along the side of a mausoleum. And so I'm going to put a compilation of that together and see if that makes an interesting episode, and then mix it in here, hopefully alongside a few new things, and then we'll see how it goes from there. Again, while everything's going on, I'm going to be keeping travel to kind of a minimum and not really doing any overnights or hotel stays, things like that. I have been looking into some possible alternatives, such as camping or things along that nature, where I could potentially still stay away from people, but still do overnight trips and travel longer and get stuff out of state, possibly. But that's sort of in the works right now, and I'm not sure how that's going to turn out at this point. I do have the ability to do it, but I'm wondering at this point how busy even like campgrounds are going to be as they're starting to reopen some areas. So I'm not sure how smart that's even going to be, but we'll see how things go. And of course, I'll keep you guys updated on here, as well as well, probably Instagram, maybe a little bit of Twitter, the usual. But yeah, things are definitely a little bit rougher right now in terms of new travel on the way. But I'm trying to make things work, and as soon as some of these restrictions and whatnot, well, as soon as it's safe and smart to go out on the road, then I definitely will be going out on some longer trips to some further states and getting some stuff that potentially we haven't really seen on the channel before, areas that we haven't gone to before, definitely a few states that we haven't gone to before. So definitely working on things in the background. But yeah, I appreciate everybody for being patient. I know, again, it's been a while since we've done even a live stream, and I will be trying to do more of those here in the future. I know I always say that as well, but again, it's just been harder to find content as it's been harder to move around. So again, I appreciate the patience. But yeah, we're going to slowly get things moving here again, and at least do a few things that are on the safe side. And yeah, again, that gets us away from the top 10 type of episodes on the 539 channel. Hey there, Venna. Good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. Hope you had a good week. But yeah, well, that's kind of a weird angle. Let me see if I can fix that. That's a little bit better. So yeah, unfortunately, again, just one of those live streams that really doesn't have much of a plan. I was kind of expecting sort of a smaller turnout anyway, just because it's been a few weeks since we had a live stream, and I haven't really been doing them very often and as much as I had intended, at least. But had a few equipment issues, had to do some work on the computer, and so that's why tonight we're actually streaming from the phone and not the computer. And everything's fine, it's working fine, but I haven't got everything set back up yet. I need to get all of the streaming set back up, or the streaming software set back up, and I haven't been able to do that yet, and so that's sort of limiting a little bit. But I wanted to jump on at least and, like I said, do an update and at least hang out for a little bit and touch base with everybody. So that's what we're doing here tonight. But again, probably won't be one of those long streams. I know I've said that way too much recently, but as soon as we get on the road, and as soon as I'm able to get out and do more, and maybe do some travel streams again, and do some hotel streams or some trail streams, things like that, then we'll be able to do longer streams again. And it's just kind of getting a little bit, I don't know, a lot of you know me. I crave things that are different, and I can't stay in one place for too long, so having to do this sort of thing over and over and over again sort of drains me just a little bit. So again, I know I said it too much tonight, but I do appreciate the patience during this time. Again, had it been a normal summer and spring, well, I guess we're not summer quite yet, but had it been a normal spring, we would have been out on the road already. I had trips planned again, and yeah, so we're just kind of on pause right now, and it looks like it's going to be safe though to start getting back out and do the back roads at the very least. Again, nothing where I'm going to have to stay in a hotel or stuff like that. I'm not really ready to make that risk quite yet. So I'm going to go ahead and at least stick to day trips for a while. And then hopefully we'll know more by the summer, or maybe midsummer, end of the summer at the very least, and then hopefully be able to do stuff a lot further away. So that's where we're sitting right now, and yeah. Again, I really didn't prepare for the stream. I apologize. I didn't really have any ideas. Again, with some of the stream ideas that I had before, some of the equipment issues just kind of took care of that. And so maybe now that everything's back up and running and I can get everything set back up again, I might be able to maybe set up some of the collaborative streams, maybe call a few people, maybe do some check-ins. And then, of course, like I said, as I can get out on the back roads and maybe we can get to some of these more secluded nature centers and things like that, maybe we can go out and do some outdoor streams and things like that, as long as the signal is compliant, as it's been a little bit tough recently. Before we went through all this whole lockdown thing, we were having some signal issues with some of the natural areas that I was trying to stream from. So hopefully we'll run into some areas that we'll have a great signal and be able to walk around a little while, explore a little bit, see if we can find some remnants of the past back there, all while we're still live and not have to deal with constant buffering and whatnot. So But that's all in the plans. Hopefully, weather, um, yeah, as long as the weather cooperates, we should be back out on the road here. Maybe I might be able to get out this coming week sometime, hopefully, and I'm gonna try and patch together a little bit of a episode at least for hopefully Sunday on 539. That way, you guys aren't waiting so long again before the next episode. So, um, yeah, I think I have enough to place together at least one more episode. I have a few things that I want to wait on, a few things that I want to take a little bit more time on. I had a few new ideas for some episode ideas, for some, I guess, sort of rehashed episodes, but sort of going back over and doing like sort of voiceover and talking head type thing while we examine different clips from videos. As far as I know, my car is ready to go. So hopefully it stays that way. We'll see what happens. But I have a new part ordered on Amazon right now that's going to tell me like live data and be able to diagnose any engine codes or anything like that and transmit them directly to my phone. Hey there, Teresa. Thank you. Yeah, I've really missed going out on the road. It's been a crazy time. It's been a lot different. But we'll be back out again here, hopefully shortly, at least on the back roads, like I said, where it's going to be secluded and I'm not going to have any interactions with people. And then, yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, I'll have to stop and get gas at some point, so that sort of is a little bit worrying. Obviously, I can take certain precautions when I do that, so that's not terrible, but it's just sort of one of those things of it's very limiting on what areas I can go to and still feel like I'm being at least semi-smart. So I don't know, it's not too terrible, I guess, considering the type of channel that I do run. We do a lot of back roads anyway, so I guess it's not too big of a deal, but it still does make me think twice about every single location and what I'm going to be, or how I'm going to be traveling there, whether I can go to a few further away locations but still take the back roads, or whether I have to hit the highways, or how far I have to go, and so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, for the most part, everything's looking like it's going to be okay. But it's just going to take a while to get up and running again. But it looks like at this point, no one's going to at least care if I'm out in some secluded area by myself, doing a little bit of filming, doing a little bit of photography and things like that. I think my main worry is that sometimes I'm out at these places and then I'm all alone, and then all of a sudden a few people show up, and then all of a sudden it's crowded. And that's kind of what happened the last time I tried to stream while I was out hiking. It was sort of at the beginning of all this mess, and I was at a park and I was doing a stream, and unfortunately the stream started having connection issues, and then by the time that went off, I realized that there were a decent amount of people there, and I was passing by people and on the trails and trying to stay away from people. Hey there, Kenneth. Welcome to the live stream. And it was getting really kind of disconcerting how many people were there, and so I ended up leaving anyway. I didn't get really much from it other than like a 5-minute live stream, and actually I don't remember how long the live stream was, and then I got a few Instagram photos, and that was pretty much it. So it was kind of disappointing, to say the least. But yeah. Good to see you too, man. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, a little bit of a rougher night, it looks like, here on YouTube. Unfortunately, again, taking a little bit of a break here, about 3 weeks it looks like. I checked right before I went on, it said about 3 weeks between now and the previous live stream. So unfortunately, I think it took a hit on the numbers again, and they probably didn't notify a whole heck of a lot of people that I was live. But I did order some stuff. I ordered some film in, and I've got some film sitting around, so I'm going to be taking the Polaroid out here in a few days, and a few of the film cameras, and be doing a lot of Instagram work. So again, if you're not already following me on Instagram, make sure you check out that, because I'm going to be doing a lot of cool old-fashioned film type work, and Polaroid work here. My Polaroid is an actual original from I think, I can't remember exactly what year, from the 1970s, and some it takes the original SX70 film, and so it has some really interesting results when you take photos, and there's a lot of manipulation. I need to grab my drink, but a lot of manipulation that you can do with it. And so I'm going to be taking that out on the road, and hopefully getting a lot of shots with that, and hopefully the scanner works well with it. I've been told that it works okay with a regular scanner and not a special scanner, so we'll see how that turns out. But I'm going to be trying to upload a lot of that stuff and be getting more into the film side of things again, and maybe even back into the medium format. I'm not really sure. I'm looking for some online, or not online, but mail-in um, film developing centers where I can send something in and get it done, and then get it potentially scanned already to high definition JPEGs, or potentially another format. I'm not really sure at this point, but anyway, that's besides the point. But I'm going to be trying to get into a lot of that for the Instagram work again, and I've put a little bit of my film work on Instagram. It's been a long, long time ago. I thought about reposting a few things recently, but I didn't really like a whole lot of what I had. And so I think I'm just going to wait until I have new stuff anyway, and I think it'd be better. But um, yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how that turns out, especially the Polaroid stuff. I think that's going to be really kind of a cool addition to the Instagram account, and potentially put some of that stuff up on the merch sites, as well as like prints that are available. I have a few canvas prints and a few poster prints and things like that available on the various merch sites. So I'm trying to bolster that right now, because I really would like to get into some sort of fine art sort of business, in terms of um, not just making it about 539 merch, but rather making it about the actual photography, which it pretty much is right now. I'm not really even sure if I sell, other than the one. No, I have two shirts, I guess, that I have available that are actual 539 merch, but I'm trying to make it more my art photography. So, yeah, I'm gonna try and do a little something with the Polaroids when they come in, and potentially, like I said, put that on the merch site as well, and go from there. I do have, like I said, the Holga, which is a cool little medium format film camera. A little bit harder to find places to develop that sort of film. It's not something that you could just take into your local drugstore. They won't really know what to do with it, and so it takes a few specialized. Hey there, Roy. Welcome to the live stream. But yeah, it takes a special developing center to be able to handle that type of thing, or to do it yourself, which again I've done a few different times, but it's just kind of a pain, because without a dedicated dark room, you're really risking losing every single roll. So it's quite the process. But I do have the equipment on site to do that if necessary. But again, I'm trying to avoid it at all cost. But I do enjoy developing, but again, it's a lot better when you're in a dark room. So yeah, again, thank you guys for the thumbs up. If you're enjoying the live stream, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you give it a share if you can. Again, I know this stream isn't the most interesting, but I did want to give you guys a few updates, let you know what was going on, touch base with everybody, like I said, and um, let everybody know that I was okay, and hopefully check in. And again, hope all of you out there are doing well. Um, Again, we'll be back out on the road as soon as possible, as when it's as safe as possible. I'm trying to just always take the safe option. I know that it's probably not the best for the channel right now, especially when I'm trying to rebuild everything anyway. But at the same time, I'm going to do what I have to do to stay safe, and we'll deal with the aftermath of that when we're done, I guess. So. Um, yeah, I guess worst case scenario, I'll take a new direction with everything. So we've always got the second channel here to do stuff on. We've always got Instagram. We've always got the music stuff to fall back on, which really should have started by now anyway. So I guess maybe it'll be a motivating factor to diversify the social media again and get into more areas that I've been trying to get into for a while. So I was hoping that the time that I had would be more time to spend developing that as well, but so far it's just been kind of a little bit too stressful to do too much. Although I think here shortly it's going to lighten up a little bit. But yeah, it was just like I said, with everything happening at once, between having to stay inside and then having to redo all my computer systems to fix all of the different errors that I was having with. Sometimes I was having to export videos like 3 and 4 times because it would just have errors, and so it got to the point where I wasn't able to actually fix everything. By the time I was done, it was like one more problem was arising. By the time I fixed all the errors with my editor, then my hard drive was eating memory for some reason. I would erase 300 gigs worth of videos once I had put them onto my backup hard drive, and then I would only get about 150 gigs freed up on my hard drive for some reason. Hey there, Snowy. Welcome to the live stream. Yeah, I'm glad to be back. Hopefully, again, going to be on the road again soon, but you never know what's happening out there. So I'm just playing it one day at a time at this point, and trying to figure out a way to come back. That's what I've been meaning to do a live stream really for the past like week, but I just kept thinking to myself to try to find something interesting to do or somewhere interesting to go that would be alone and secluded, like I said, or some other format, just something to mix things up a little bit. And that's really why I haven't gone live. It's just because I really couldn't figure out anything else to do. So it was just one of those things that came to the time where I was going to plan to go live like I did tonight, and I just wouldn't do it because it just felt like there was no reason, because I had nothing new to say, nothing new to tell you, no new updates, no new travel plans, nothing like that. And so, yeah, I just tried to do my best to do stuff in the background and try and plan for the future and get things organized, get things working again. And so that's what I've been doing. I've been working on the computer systems. I've been working on planning. I've been pulling up old documents that I had from location data from years ago that I never got to. And no, so I've been trying to find all these locations across the U.S. So yeah, definitely sending my love, sending best of luck to everybody out there, and make sure you stay safe, stay home if you can. and hang in there until all this is over, and we can get back out there and make up for that lost time. But I know it's rough for everybody. I definitely don't have it the hardest out of everybody. I know that, so I'm thankful for that. But at the same time, yeah, it is definitely rough not being able to get out there on the road and not being able to bring new content to you guys, and having to sort of put a pause to all the operations. And so, again, that's why I didn't just quit completely. I wanted to at least come up with some sort of compilation episodes from all the past episodes that we had done, and I'm going to, again, continue to do that as long as I can, and also hopefully sprinkle that with some new content as much as I can and as safe as I can. So, yeah. Yeah, and that's what I have a hard time with, after a while, if I can't mix things up a little bit, it's easy to just give up. Even though I probably shouldn't. I probably should come out, hang out at least, and try. But it's something I can definitely work on in the future. But at the same time, it is rough. When you're supposed to be somewhat of a entertainer and you're having a hard time coming up with ideas to entertain, it is sort of a um, devastating effect on your psyche in terms of trying to convince yourself to actually go forward with a live stream or go forward with creating something that you might not think is up to par or whatever. And so, um, yeah, I've definitely been feeling that. But um, yeah, I guess at a certain point I've got to get over it too, and just start forcing myself to come online and do streams, and come up with some sort of schedule, maybe at least a few times a week. So, thank you, Linda. Yeah, I've been thinking about a lot of that lately, in terms of the future of everything, and um, I have no intention of ever quitting creating, but as I've hinted before, um, I've seen a few people on YouTube, and they've talked a lot about this in terms of when to give up on any one project and start pursuing another one harder. And so, I thought about that even with 539, that if growth on the channel continues to slide to the point where YouTube's not promoting it at all anymore, and it's at this point that's not happening. So I don't want to scare anybody, but if at some point I feel like it's not growing anymore, and it's not a project that should be focused on anymore, I probably will pursue other things. But again, I don't want to scare anybody into thinking that I'm like quitting doing all this altogether. It would more mean like I would either move on to the second channel and try to promote that more, and promote streams more, and promote maybe traveling live more or something like that, or start doing more on other social media like Twitch, or more on Instagram, or maybe on Instagram TV, something like that. I've been weighing out a lot of options, but I've kind of told myself that I'm going to leave it until at least the end of the year uh, to decide. And I probably would never quit altogether anyway, because I do like the channel. I've liked I've really, uh, for the most part, liked what it's become in terms of a adventure travel channel. I've always kind of tried to point that out, that it's an adventure travel series. It's not a cemetery or graveyard exploration series. And so I do like it as an adventure travel series, and um, no worries. Even if you don't have Instagram, you can still look at it. It's not like you have to sign up to see it sort of thing. So it wouldn't be like I disappeared. Hey there, Molly. Hey there, Sue. But I mean, I'll still be doing stuff. When I say like moving on, I probably would, like I said, keep the channel alive, probably indefinitely. just because I like what it is and I like the content. So if it probably would mean the worst case scenario is it would be like this, what it's like right now, probably like once a week episodes, not necessarily rehashes of old episodes. It would still be new content. It just wouldn't be quite as often. And because, like I said, if I don't see that the channel is growing, and I don't see that, YouTube's even promoting it maybe to my own followers, then I feel like it's definitely time to move on. But at the same time, like I said, I still have hope for the channel, and I don't think it's completely dead. I don't think it's to that point yet. So it's just sort of a contingency plan. So again, I don't want to scare anybody. I'm not quitting social media. I'm not quitting creating. There's always going to be new material coming out somewhere. I've been creating online in one way or the other for probably over 10 years. A lot of that content's gone now, but I'm not planning to disappear, and I enjoy doing it, and I enjoy photography in general, and I've enjoyed my experiences getting into videography and production, and I've had a lot of growth and a lot that I've learned, and so there's definitely no way I want to quit. I really like video. I like the format. I like the thought of doing bigger and better productions and upgrading my equipment again, and so I have no desire to quit at all. I just have a desire to share in a place where I feel like they're promoting the content to not only my followers first and foremost. I know how some of you on 539 don't always get notifications, and it's been an ongoing issue. And I think that's some of the problems that we've had with growth too, is that when YouTube's not even notifying my own followers, it's really hard for the algorithm to think that my videos are popular enough to promote to other people, and so it's sort of like a catch-22, because there's nothing really I can do about it until YouTube fixes the notification issue, and we all know as creators anyway that it's a site-wide problem, and that they're not really doing anything about it, and it's we're not really sure what's going on, and we're not really sure what the progress is on them working on it, but we know that it's a huge issue, and it's definitely causing some of the views on some of the channels to drop drastically. My views haven't been incredibly affected, definitely to a certain degree. And then with some of the algorithm changes, it's again made it even harder, to the point where, after a few days, if your video isn't doing amazing, it's just the algorithm is just going to cease all. I shouldn't say all, but cease most promotion of the video. So it's a really rough time, especially when you're trying, like I've done in the past, to sort of mix things up a little bit. We're definitely not the same exact channel that I was, at the very beginning. It's definitely more of a focus on the adventure travel and on the historic locations and the graveyards and cemeteries and things like that, and not so much the abandoned stuff anymore, even though we still do at least locations on that track, I guess you would say. There are definitely things that are done with permission and done in areas where it's parks, it's national parks, things like that. Where you can go into these places deep in the woods and find these crazy things, and it's not necessarily things that are looked down upon, I guess you could say. And so I know the channel's changed, and that's been some of the issue, but it's also been one of those things where it's sort of doubles your problem when at the same time that you're changing, YouTube's changing, and so with the implementation of the algorithm and then the adjustment over the few years, it's just been and made it incredibly hard to make any sort of slight adjustments even to your content without suffering huge backlash from it. And you don't even, again, know all the time that it's really your fans being mad at you, or if it's just YouTube thinking that maybe your fans aren't going to like what they see. And so that's what makes it all the more difficult, is that you really never know what the real problem is. Is it, is it YouTube doing it to you, or is it that people just aren't really interested in watching that particular video? And it might be a mixture of both, I don't know. But it makes me wonder sometime, again, seeing some of the videos that I made in the past, even some of the videos where I've gone to the same location. It's like some of the videos where I went to Monument City and it got, say, like nearly 20,000 views, and I'll go back and film a video that's like the first time that I went back, and I don't know what the exact numbers are now, but the first time I went back when the water levels were low, and the previous video had been at about 17,000 when I went back and filmed. And that video, I hadn't seen any of the buildings. We had only walked down the street and seen the flooded areas and walked to the shoreline and saw the waves. And I kind of pointed out that all the buildings were below the surface. And that video did incredibly well. And then I put out the new video where we actually got to go out and see the buildings. And it did, I think, not even a tenth of the hits. And maybe now it's done a lot better. I don't really know. But it just always confused me that videos that seemingly showed a lot more, were a lot more interesting, were longer, and for some reason they just do a lot worse because seemingly the algorithm just doesn't think that they're interesting about that. Why no response? It just depends on what it is and how many messages I'm getting. I try to respond to as many people as possible, as often as possible. But as far as my email, I usually only respond to business stuff. The email I'm trying to keep business related. So unless it's about locations or channel sponsorships or collaboration type things like that, I don't typically respond to any emails whatsoever. So it's not, don't feel offended, it's not you. It's one of those things, unless I see something in the title where it looks like it's business related, then I don't even open most emails. So a lot of stuff gets filtered into my spam anyway. So sometimes I don't see everything. So my apologies if I've missed a few things. Have I considered using other platforms? Yeah, I'm definitely considering hopping over on Twitch, at least more often. I've only tried Twitch the one time while I was on the road to California and had a little bit of bad luck with it, so in order to make sure the trip went well, I ended up switching back to YouTube for the live streams. And so I'd like to try Twitch again. I like the model over there in terms of the live streams, and I don't want to quit the live streams on YouTube, but I definitely would like to do a healthy mix of both. So that's definitely one of the areas I've been thinking. I've tried doing live on Instagram. It didn't seem to really work very well. I don't know if they didn't notify people or what, but I never got a whole heck of a lot of viewers. But I only did that the once, so I probably should just do it more often over there too. I should probably just take some time out of the day to go live somewhere, at least for like an hour. Hey there, John. Welcome to the live stream. Good to have you. So, I mean, that's what I probably should do. It's been kind of my plan, was to do like at least an hour a day, but again, I just kind of came to that point where I was like, well, I'm not going to do an hour of every single day just hanging out, having the same old conversation that I have on every live stream. It's like, again, I either want to get out there and do some like trails or like do like some collaborative type work, or podcast type work, things like that. And again, a lot of you know some of the reason again is that I had so many plans this year for this channel, including having guests on, having tattoos, having piercings, talking, those topics, but not just talking those topics, actually going out and living those topics and seeing the tattoos, like I said. And so, the idea of just continuing to have the podcast while having nothing new other than maybe, I guess I could do like a tattoo news segment or like an alternative culture news segment every week, and that is a possibility. But I kind of wanted to get out there and start doing things, and that's what really been one of the hardest things, is that I had so many plans and so many interesting ideas for the second channel and the podcast, and then it sort of just again all got put on pause. So, but I can't complain, because again, I've got health, and there's a lot of people out there that have a lot worse situation than I do. So I don't want it to seem too whiny. I'm definitely thankful to at least have that, but at the very least, it's been difficult. So, but yeah, when things clear up, hopefully we'll be able to start doing that again. Still won't do, I'm not sure what you're referring to, but in terms of like tattoos and piercings, that'll be on hold for a while, until we're in the kind of free and clear. So yeah, that's definitely not going to be happening soon. Probably until post-vaccine, I'm guessing. And then I'll probably go wild. I'll probably drop way too much money on that, because I've already had plans to do stuff at the beginning of the year, and that got put on hold immediately, and so that was kind of irritating. It was literally almost the same month. I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get a hold of somebody. We're going to start planning, and we're going to at least get an outline done, and maybe some at least shading started, and film it or live stream it. And as soon as I said that, it was like in like 2 days, it was like, okay, well, we're going to be on lockdown starting next week. And so that was another one of those, and I hate to say devastating, because it's, especially in a climate like this, that's maybe a word reserved for worse things, but highly disappointing, to say the least. And so, yeah, that was kind of the thing. It was like right in the middle of everything. It's like right as I was going to start the tattoos, right as I was about to head back out on the road again, everything just came to a halt. So yeah, just hoping for some progress and things for everybody, not just for my own sake, but for everybody out there, that maybe we can get back to normal once again. But again, I definitely a strong advocate of doing it the smart way and the safe way, and staying in as long as you can, or up until the point that they have, again, like some sort of vaccine or something. So we'll see what happens on that end. But yeah, well, I guess it's a shame when any type of situation where we should be able to just rely on the facts becomes political. Political shouldn't be political, honestly. Everything should just be about the facts. Like, what always surprises me with anything is that there can be opinions on factual subjects. It's like somebody's got to be right at the end of the day. So either we got to be adults and agree on who's right on which subject, and move forward, or where are we going? Yeah, it's definitely had an effect on normal. It probably will have some sort of permanent effect on how we lead our lives from here forward. But when I look at cultures like, like Japan, where, even wearing mask is a very normal sight. Maybe it can affect us in a positive way at the very least, where we're a little bit safer, a little bit less likely to spread anything, whether it's a cold, whether it's the flu, or whether it's something worse like this. It's like every winter, there's so many people that are, even some people that don't have a choice, it's not necessarily that I'm blaming them, but it's like how many people go to work sick, how many people are going shopping while they have a cold, how many people are at the grocery store while they have the flu, and it's like maybe if it just does one thing good for us, it'll just make us think twice when we're sick with something that's not so serious, to be like, okay, maybe today I'm going to stay home. Or maybe the boss is like, yeah, maybe today you should stay home. Maybe today you can take a paid sick day or something. Maybe we should be just a little bit smarter in the future, because, at the end of the day, a lot of it's on the movement of people, with any type of disease out there. A lot of it is dependent upon the movement of people. And if people could do the right thing and just stay in place, it would greatly affect the numbers, and that's what we just got to come down to. And then again, there's got to be some way to find good, trustable science without worrying about either people writing or talking about things that they don't understand, or just misinformation in general out there. There's got to be a way to, again, the facts are the facts, and it doesn't matter what people believe on any one issue. There is a right and right way and a wrong way for a lot of things out there, and there's a lot of things out there that maybe don't have a right way and a wrong way, and just like a career. But at the same time, when it comes to certain type of issues, you know, we can come to a definitive solution somehow, and that's what disappoints me the most. But anyway, yeah, enough with politics. But yeah, in terms of travel, I just gotta wait until it's as safe as possible. Excuse me, I'm about to go grab my drink here in a second. As soon as it's as safe as possible, I'll be hitting the road. And again, like I said, I'll probably be, since a lot of the regulations are loosening up, if I can get out to locations that are safe, distant, and secluded, then I probably will do a few back roads episodes, and that way we won't be watching all, again, reruns of and rehashes of old content. So there's definitely going to be some new stuff here in the near future, from safe locations. That's all I'm saying at this point. So yeah. In fact, probably after I get off here tonight, I'll probably be spending a good deal of the rest of the night just planning, looking at locations. In fact, I was doing that right before I got on, and I had, I think, 3 locations marked for various. I think I had 2 locations marked for filming, and then 1 location marked for a potential stream. Tea is good. Yeah, I would like to drink more tea, but I don't. Maybe in the future here. But yeah, I have an appreciation for it, though, at the very least. I do enjoy it whenever I do drink it. Yeah, coffee's good as well. I always drink black coffee. Not always, but most of the time. I really do enjoy the mausoleums. As much as I always seem to be reminding a lot of people that, not people on here, but just on 539 in general, that, it is an adventure travel series. I had somebody yell at me the other day about it, because they found even though I'd recently, the weird thing is I've been releasing all mausoleum stuff recently, and they found one video from a while ago that was not a cemetery or mausoleum video, and they had mentioned that, you know, maybe I just need to find some areas where there's more cemeteries, and I politely reminded him that it's not actually a cemetery and mausoleum series. It is a adventure travel series, and we do a lot of different types of videos. But yeah, I did notice some uptick again recently on those comments, and so I guess that urges me to kind of get to some more diverse types of locations, because I don't, again, want people to get the wrong idea on things. It is something that worries me a little bit, but I'm kind of losing track of my thought here. But yeah, a lot of people here I don't feel like have that misconception. So I don't want anybody here to feel like I'm judging anybody. These are mainly a few people here and there on 539 that just don't understand exactly what the series is about. But I do enjoy the mausoleums, though. That's the thing. I really do like. I think they're really interesting. It's a type of architecture that I think often is ignored and doesn't get a lot of credit, because a lot of people don't really know what's out there and don't really take the time to research it or to look into it. So there's a lot of these really elaborate buildings out there that almost no one knows about, and obviously they're not huge, but I mean some of them are to a certain extent. But I think they're very interesting. Yeah, I think some variety would be really great too. The unfortunate part is that with the new algorithm, often when I do try to introduce variety to the channel, the algorithm will not remind even my own audience that the video's up there. So like the notifications won't work. So like that's when I find like after like years I'll have like one video drop below 1,000 hits, and it's like that's not necessarily a big deal. I know that 1,000 is a lot of hits, and I always try to reiterate that I do understand that, but you know, considering what I know the channel is capable of, it is definitely again very disappointing when I know that videos typically get over 1,000 hits by usually within the first 24 hours, and to have one single video randomly drop underneath that, it makes me think that it's the, well, it doesn't make me think, it makes me know that a lot of times it's the algorithm that hasn't pushed out the notifications, because the content is slightly different from what the last video was. But yeah, well, and some of it depends on what you're watching too, Michael. Some of it, everyone's YouTube is custom tailored to their own viewing habits. So, like, if you were to log into somebody else's account, you wouldn't get the same suggestions even if you were watching my videos. So a lot of it's on both ends. So YouTube will promote. YouTube promotes what gets the most views on my channel, more to people who don't subscribe to my channel. So if I have like a cemetery video, it's more likely to get people, to get viewers that aren't already subscribed, as compared to like an adventure travel series where we're like at the pillars where I was trying to cross the river and go into the caves, or hiking down the rivers or things like that. So it makes it really hard, even if the video is very interesting, even if you could see the same, because I occasionally do cross research where I'll look at other types of or excuse me, I'll look at the same type of episode on somebody else's channel who does primarily that type of work and who has, a decent amount of subscribers. And I'll see a lot of the videos that I do the same type of videos get amazing views on these other sites, and because it's 539, it won't get those same views because I don't do enough of those videos to get promoted, because there's not enough people that maybe hit the thumbs up button or whatever, and it's so over time, it's sort of like YouTube creates this pattern of who it thinks you are, and if you divert from that at all, it has negative consequences. Hey there, Christine, welcome to the live stream. So that's what makes it kind of rough, is that even though that video might do well on someone else's channel, because I've done so many more cemeteries at this point, even going back to abandoned stuff, which I arguably got way more hits on. If I go back to abandoned stuff now, a lot of times I might barely get over 1,000. Even some of my best videos, like when I was out in California and out west, I did some of my best abandoned stuff, and like in Idaho, I did some amazing videos in Idaho, and they did pretty poorly, and I know that on a strictly abandoned site or a strictly abandoned exploration channel, they would have done pretty amazing. And I think it's kind of the flaw of the algorithm, is that you can make these incredible videos of these incredible locations. Some of the most unique items that I've ever seen in my life, like at the hotel in Idaho, we were finding stuff in the floorboards. We were able to see stuff that was left behind by some of the old renters that had been there, and it was just incredible. Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, I stole one of my other LED strips and threw it on my light bulb here. I'm going to be tinting the light bulb so that it's not quite as bright. I don't do enough. I like the adventure travel format. I don't do enough of the normal, I guess, if you would call it that, normal type of abandoned stuff anymore. And so I don't feel like it would work very well in that type of thing. And I don't have enough interest in only doing that to devote an entire channel to it. If I were going to devote another channel to anything, it would probably be like the podcast type of stuff like this, and just focusing more on the alt culture, tattoo, music type of stuff, instead of going back to what I was originally. Not that that wasn't fun, and not that I hadn't gotten used to it and gotten better at it. I had a lot of fun doing it, but it just wasn't. It was never anything that was going to pay off, and not that that's what it's all about, but it was just. I guess I would be better saying that there was just no real future in it. I don't feel like, from my perspective, anyway. I felt like at the end of the day, the only future in it was to one day transition to another platform like television or something like that. And I wanted something that was more scalable, I guess, to, where it would have some growth. I don't mind being somewhat niche. I know that a lot of my interests are not what the mainstream is. And I have no desire to be mainstream, and that's why I haven't done a lot of stuff like that, a lot of stuff like what you see on the trending page. So I'm okay with that, but at the same time, I do have a desire to grow, at least at some, knowing that I make some things that are interesting, and I do have some desire to grow the channel and to find other people that are interested in the same thing, and to be able to make it into a full-blown career, and to do it as a full-time. I pretty much do that now, but um, but yeah, to know that the channel may be, and I don't know that 100%, but I'm saying to know that the channel would be slowing down and slowly coming to a halt, to the point where it's going to either lose or just break even at a certain number, is a little bit disappointing, and something that I would like to fix whatever way I can. But again, like I said, I'm not gonna worry about it too much right now, because I'm gonna give it to the end of the year, see where things stand, see what I need to do, and like I said, I'm never gonna quit social media and quit creating videos, episodes somewhere. But at a certain point, I may reorganize things so that I feel like it's um, getting to the maximum amount of people that it can. Again, it's not like it's all about fame or anything like that, but again, like I was talking about with the trail stuff, and how a very interesting video might completely fail on one channel but not another. It's like I want to definitely be someplace where I feel like I'm getting equal treatment. So if I have to reorganize a little bit to do that, then potentially I could do that. But like I said, 539. At this point, I have no intentions of killing it off at any time. So it'll continue to live one way or the other. Yeah, that is possible, Teresa. Yeah, that's a good idea. Somebody was doing a burnout. Drinking green tea ferment. I didn't realize. It's interesting. Yeah. Again, as I've said a couple times before in a couple streams, if I can figure out anything interesting to do that I feel like is achievable, then I'll definitely be doing that. Thank you, Molly. I appreciate that. I know I'm not in the highest of moods tonight, so I do appreciate that. But I'm not mad, though. I'm definitely not scared or anything like that. The channels are doing okay, and they're definitely working to a certain extent. So it's like I feel like if I can just do my due diligence this year, and things do get to the point where I at least can do a little bit of regular travel. I had a lot of great locations lined up, so if I can get at least a few of those done, even later on in the year, then I think it'll end up being a good year. So, yeah. But if that's not the case, it's like I've been doing so much thinking about where I would go from here if I had to, not really, like I said, not really give up on 539, but maybe put it on the back burner in terms of doing like once a week. I might have to do that. But have I ever heard of Amy Scripps? Yeah. We follow each other on Twitter. I know her through Xavier and Michael Scott. So I don't know her very well, but yeah, I do see a bunch of her tweets, and seems like a pretty cool person. I almost we were gonna all meet up in Vegas, and then that had to get put off. A few people ended up going out to Vegas, but I decided to hold off until more of us could get together, which might be happening again after all this is over. Somebody had been mentioning something about, I think, North Carolina having a few locations that they had lined up out there. And so might be doing, I don't know if that would be involving her or not, but I'm assuming that she would be invited to that. But I don't know if she ended up making it out to Vegas or not. I can't remember. Um, but I know a few people made it to Vegas. But that'll have to happen again here, maybe at the end of this year or early next year. Thank you, Christine. Appreciate that. Yeah, I think I might have another video or two of the mausoleums that I can make, and then it'll probably be all used up in terms of the content that I have. And then, like I said, I have a few more types of episodes I'm going to be trying to work on too. So we're definitely going to be having some more of the top 10 type, or not really top 10 because I didn't really label them that way, but oh yeah, yeah. I think didn't she just do a trip to America? I think, but where was I? Oh yeah. So yeah, after this is all over, we'll probably be doing Vegas, and then um, hopefully hooking up with Xavier again, and then maybe doing California. Probably, I'm not sure about a few people I've been talking with about meeting up at various locations, like in between. Xavier had been talking about that, potentially meeting somewhere in between. I don't know exactly where that would be. Um, but we might be doing, if again, if things clear up later this year, we might be doing that. And then I had talked with Ryan from RJ32 about potentially doing the same thing, meeting up somewhere and doing some exploring. And again, we had some really amazing locations. I have a few that I've been looking at, and that's one of the reasons I'm so frustrated is specifically because of the locations. They were some of the best locations that we would have done on the channel in, I mean, probably ever. I mean, in the entire history. Like some of the coolest stuff, some of the island series, um, some of the going back to like the mountains, going back to out to the Vegas area, doing some more subterranean type things. I had so many cool locations in mind, and obviously they will eventually happen. I guess one way or another, I'll make them happen, and even if it's the final thing that the channel does, I guess. But no, like I said, 539 will continue in one way or another. I want to keep it going. I don't want to give up on it ever. I just feel like at a certain point I have to focus my efforts on an area that is going to I don't know, to be able to grow, you know. I just think it's a smart thing to do in any type of endeavor, you know. If you're going to try to create any sort of business, and I'm definitely looking at this business minded, even though again, like I said, I do have a definite interest in just creation in general. I've always been that way. I've always uploaded my work online and shared it with people, and I haven't always been about making money off of it, even though I do make money off of YouTube, and I'm okay with making money off of YouTube, and I'm not ashamed of the fact that I do that. But at the same time, I don't ever want people to think that it's all about the money and that I would quit all of a sudden if there was no money in it. But at the same time, I do have an interest in creating a production company. That is one of my goals, and YouTube is definitely one of the avenues that I'm using to create that company. And I'm not saying I necessarily want to do work off of YouTube, although I wouldn't necessarily mind doing side work off of YouTube potentially. But at the same time, I would like to focus my efforts always on the social media side of things, and sharing stuff in places where people can watch for free and watch as many times as they want, and not have to worry about being a subscriber or worry about, having some monthly subscription fee if they don't want to, so I do want to focus my efforts on a platform like YouTube, but at the same time, I do want to develop some sort of company out of it, whether it's creating new YouTube channels like some of these production studios do, like High Five Studios and things like that, or wow, I'm gonna forget the name now. Um, oh wow, I can't remember it now. The First We Feast company. Um, anyway, yeah, maybe something like that where we just have a healthy mix of different channels created with different hosts and different subject matters and things like that. Um, yeah, I definitely have high aspirations for it. I don't just want to run a YouTube channel. That's what I'm trying to get at, I guess. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, to actually come to the point where I had a channel that made money. Like, I can't tell you how many hours I put in promoting my content, you know, interacting on social media. I mean, I know I don't do as much interaction anymore, but in the very beginning, I was probably putting in at least a good 20, 30 hours a week just on the social media side, on top of what I was traveling, what I was editing, things like that. So, um, I mean, it's like a full time job on top of a full time job is what it really is. Whatever you're doing, you have to spend that amount of time doing YouTube too. And if you can spend 40 hours a week of your time on YouTube for 5 years, then you definitely have a chance. I know the subject matter on 539 is a little bit more niche and unfortunately has gone through some changes which kind of hindered growth a little bit, I believe, at this point. So maybe if I hadn't changed so often and revamped the channel so much and so drastically, maybe it would have grown a little bit better considering some of the views that I was getting on some of the stuff in the beginning that I was doing. But yeah, I mean, if you put that time into it, it really still has a chance of growing. Thank you, Snow. I appreciate it. Yeah, if you guys just want to listen, that's more than fine. Again, I always appreciate people just tuning in. Do whatever you feel comfortable doing. It's all good. Never feel like I'm gonna get uh, annoyed that you're not saying something. It's all good. But yeah, I appreciate you all being here. Um, Again, if you're enjoying it, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Again, I will endeavor to do my best to do more of these more often from here on out. It looks like I'm going to be able to finally really mix things up here and start doing some more stuff outdoors, potentially, and especially with it getting uh, closer to summer and better, excuse me, better. Wow, I really need to go get my drink. Hold on just a second, but I will in a second. But just be able to go out and not have it be freezing weather anymore, and um, again, being brighter for longer, it makes things a lot easier. And again, now that some of again, I don't necessarily agree with all of it, but with some of the restrictions being um, lifted, I feel like I can at least use that to my advantage and get to some of the places where I can be alone still and be safe still, but at the same time do a little bit of filming. Sorry, I'm missing some things. I gotta go back here. Thanks for joining us, Teresa. You have a great night. Am I still drinking the Mountain Dew? Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, yeah, that's what I have right now. I probably should have grabbed a water, but um, yeah, that's what I grabbed. But yeah, um, I'll always be a soda fan, I think, in one way or the other. I try to do more water these days, but um, I don't know. I've always been a Mountain Dew fan, and I don't feel like it's something I'll ever get rid of completely. I don't really have a desire to though either. So it's not like I'm trying to. Um, I don't really believe in dieting or anything like that. I kind of feel like you gotta have a healthy balance of everything, and have some of the stuff you like and have some of the stuff that's healthy, and hopefully you like the healthy stuff, and then your life will be easier. But yeah, I feel like I'll never cut out soda completely. But I have been recently trying to drink a lot more water, which has had various results. Burners, oh, like ginger ale. I always love ginger ale. Um, I actually drink both. I drink, there's, well, there's the two main ones, like the Canada Dry and then the um, Burners, and I drink both of those. And there's a few others. Obviously, I mean, there's your local stuff too. But I mean, I was trying to think if Jones made it, but I can't remember. They make so many different types. But I would love if there was a Jones soda version. I'll have to look that up because I feel like that would be really good. I feel you, Linda. Yeah, I do diet most of the time now, which I feel like I don't really know if that's really good for you, but I feel like it works for me in terms of like I can definitely see like a weight spike if I like drink a lot of regular pop, and then as soon as I switch to diet, like I see it flatten back out. So the ice cream floats are very good. Yeah, I was actually thinking about making one at some point, but yeah, I haven't done that as of yet. Yeah, I thought about doing some food stuff too for the second channel. I also thought about just filming some stuff. I was going to film a time lapse the other night, but I couldn't get a very good angle. I was going to do the sunset, but I couldn't get a really great angle, so I ended up giving up on that. I've been trying to do, I know that Instagram's been suffering too, which I've been really angry about, but I tried to do some star stuff the other night. It went all right, even though I don't have the proper equipment for it. Hey there, Savannah. Thank you, I appreciate it. You really can't tell, but I actually dyed it as well. It's actually like a deep burgundy red. I don't know, it kind of shows up a little bit. If I had the remote, I would change the lights real quick to white, but I don't know where my remote is. Oh, I see. It's like all the way across the room. I can actually grab it. But yeah, appreciate you stopping in to say hi. Thank you very much. Hope you're doing well out there. Yeah, that's the idea. Flatten the curve. But we'll see how it goes. That is up to, I guess, everybody a little bit. But I'm definitely ready to get back out. I definitely have the travel itch, so I'm sure as soon as this is, all clear, I'll probably hit the road for another big road trip. Maybe spend at least maybe a week. Maybe head somewhere we haven't headed before. I don't know. Maybe we'll do like northeast this time. Go like to like New England area or something. Or if I really want to splurge for like a passport, I guess we could do like a big Canada trip or something like that. I've been wanting to do like, that's been one of the areas I've been wanting to change 539 again, is to do like some bigger road. I think I said this before in the live stream, but I've always been wanting to do some bigger road trip series where we could do like multi-location episodes on the way to one big destination, and sort of like a multi-day, multi-episode journey to like a really far away location. Sort of like if we had filmed the entire way to California and then showed you like 2 to 3 different locations at each step along the way, something like that. So yeah, that's one of the ideas. Again, it's kind of scary because it's like, if my thought that runs through my head is, if I do it well enough, maybe I should just start a brand new channel and do the whole series on a different channel and see if I can grow it from the ground up and make it into, a completely different series, and maybe transition into that, or make 539, I don't know, a more specific channel, or I don't really know. That's been one of the thoughts too. But then I think if I could potentially save 539 to the point where I can put out a couple videos every single week and have it be treated fairly by the system, and the notifications go out, and I can have positive growth, and I really would love to take 539 all the way. It always was my goal from the very beginning, to turn it into something, to turn it into a viable series, to, hit those big goals. I know we haven't done so bad as of, right now. I mean, we've definitely made it up pretty high, but, I really did want to hit that like 100,000 goal, and maybe even 1 million goal. So, if I had a chance to do that instead of giving up on the channel and starting a brand new one, I definitely would do that. So, we'll see. But I'm definitely open to. Did I miss something here? Sorry. I'm definitely open to starting like a third channel, though, if I feel like that's a smarter way to go for a certain series. It's sort of a daunting task because it's either got to go viral, or you're looking at potential years of hard work to expand that one channel again. So, but yeah, that's another thought that I've been thinking. I'll probably test most things on 539 just to see if it's something that would fit on the channel, and maybe if enough people like it and I get enough views, then maybe it'll be something that can fill in and give me something that I can use to diversify the content a little bit more. But yeah, as soon as I can try it, I'll definitely be trying it. But at this point, I'm not able to really try a whole lot, so we're just stuck wondering until I can get back out there and actually film some of this stuff. And the longer stuff is just really going to have to wait, so we'll have to see later on this year. I'm really hoping the best. It looks like some of the things I'm saying seem positive, and it looks like they're going to have some sort of vaccine here pretty soon, but I'm just not holding my breath. I don't really know, what's gonna happen, and but if something does happen, then we will definitely be hitting the road almost immediately. So. All good, Molly, no worries. I appreciate you being here. So yeah, I don't think that there was anything else. I felt like there was something else that I was needing to say. Might have to grab my drink here real quick, though. Let's grab that real quick, and then I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry about that, everybody. Try to be as quick as possible. Man, we've been going for 86 minutes now. I didn't realize I was as late as it was. I didn't realize it was already at almost, 12:30? 12:18. There we go. But, yeah. I'm trying to think how long I'm going to do this stream. I might we might take a break here. Hey there, Encourage Hope. Welcome. Good to have you here on the live stream. But, yeah, I might talk here for a little bit longer and then take another, a little bit longer break, like a 5-minute break, and then come back. Or if it doesn't look like things are doing well, maybe we'll call it a night. I don't know. But at this point, things are kind of up in there. Yep, finally cut the hair. Glad to have a little bit off of it, at least on the sides anyway. I feel like it's a little bit better looking like this. But yeah. Finally was able to get it cut again and then get it colored again. Even though it's not really coming through in the light very well. I should have grabbed that remote, but I'm not really. It's all good. We'll worry about that in another live stream. But thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I know it's been a while again. It's been about 3 weeks since we had the last live stream, but I've been anxious to get back on here. It's just been a matter of finding willpower and content. Again, that's the one thing that I'm always worried about is keeping things interesting, and it's probably the one thing that deters me the most from hopping on and doing a live stream is when I just feel like I have nothing really to talk about. And lately, it just feels like it's been the same old thing, so I haven't gotten on quite as much. Why have... Oh, like earring? Oh, or you mean the earbuds. That's just my microphone. I'm plugged into my iPhone right now directly. I'm not broadcasting from my computer tonight. So I have my microphone right here. Thank you, Molly. I appreciate that. Thank you, Encourage Hope. Yeah, I think so. I think it'll work out. It's just time. I think that's the most frustrating part is that when you're waiting, sit and wait is what feels like the longest period of time ever, and that's the worst part of it, for me at least, I always try to reiterate that, I don't want to sound whiny because I know a lot of people out there have it harder than I do. So, I look more comfortable. Thank you. Yeah, I definitely don't want to make it all about me. But I do want people to know that there are some struggles going on in the channel in terms of, keeping content up and that I appreciate everybody being patient, so. Well, some of the stuff we've been talking about are going back out west again, and thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll definitely be going out west again. Definitely doing some collaborations with some of the people we've seen before on the channel, Xavier and Ryan, and probably Big Steve as well when I get back out to California. And obviously, I'd love to hook up again with the guys from Urban Ghost, Urban Exploration when they're in the area next, or um, potentially meeting up somewhere again. Who knows? Um, yeah. Am I close to Oklahoma? Potentially. I had thought about uh, going to Vegas this time via the old Route 66 route, or technically, I guess, through 40. Um, and so I think that goes either through or close. I can't remember. But yeah, I've been wanting to go to Oklahoma. I've been wanting to go to Oklahoma, Texas, Montana. Arizona is one that we have never filmed at. Um, is there? I can't think of anything else. Well, kind of not really in that area, but Louisiana is one that I wanted to get to too. So, um, in El Reno, it's an interesting name. Obviously, I've been past Reno, Nevada before, but that's cool. Yeah, I would love to make it out to Oklahoma. I believe there was the one I wanted to do a series about the old ghost town. The actually I think it's America's newest ghost town. What was it? I never can remember the name, but it had the chemical spill, I think, and so now I think like 75% of the town or something is like um, abandoned. Oh, you have a place on Route 60. That's cool. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you want to hit me up sometime via email or something, like maybe we could talk back and forth or something about that. Just the 539 Productions email, 539productions at gmail.com. Um, yeah, maybe we could work some out. But yeah, I'm always looking for interesting places to go, and um, so yeah, if anybody has suggestions or anything, always feel free to let me know. But yeah, yeah, but definitely been thinking about Route 66 for a long time. It's been a dream of mine to travel down there. Obviously, I don't live too far from the beginning of Route 66 up in Chicago, so I thought it would be kind of a fun trip to go all the way from Chicago all the way to California, and ended out there at the pier. I can't remember which beach it's on, but it ends up on one of the piers at the West Coast. So I thought that'd be kind of a fun journey, like maybe another series like what I was talking about, to do like a multi-part series where we just sort of almost sort of I would hate to say that it's a copy, but it's sort of similar like to some of the series that Adam the Woo's done on multi-day travels across the country. But obviously, it'd be my own spin on it, and um, wouldn't look like his filming style, obviously. But yeah, yeah, I definitely would never want to copy off of anybody, but sort of something similar to that is what I mean. But yeah, and there's so many places I've been wanting to go that we haven't been to before. And that's really what I wanted to focus the year on, was just doing things that were completely different, just to sort of mix things up. Not necessarily not doing some of the more popular locations like mausoleums or historic monuments or the old historic graveyards or whatever, but to just do the craziest locations possible, to do different locations whenever possible, but also when we do similar locations to what we've done before, to do it, like I said, as big as possible. Like I said, I had a bunch of island locations hooked up. So many cool things that I've been wanting to do, and so many areas that we've never experienced before on the channel. So I thought it'd be a lot of fun, but that may end up being 2021, I guess, at this point. But I mean, I guess that's cool if it is. Who knows? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to them too. Honestly, oh, thanks for joining us, Christine. You have a great night. But yeah, honestly, I mean, I've been wanting to get back out on the road. You know, as someone who travels at least fairly frequently, I know I'm definitely not the biggest traveler, even on YouTube. But at the same time, I do like to travel quite often and take a lot of, even if I'm local, I'm taking day trips to different locations. So, um, it's kind of hard to all of a sudden be in one place. So, I definitely am looking forward to getting back out there and being productive. Thanks, Molly. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, you have a great night. Well, kind of debating whether to maybe take a break or whether to potentially end it now and, well, not now, but soon, and then do like a different type of stream. So if I can sneak out on the road, I was thinking about potentially, if it wasn't terrible weather, tomorrow, or I guess today now. I was thinking about potentially sneaking out to some location and filming something new, and then potentially doing a live stream. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Will it get bad again? I think it could if people move around too much. I mean, it's, you know, excuse me. Something I was saying the other day off of stream is, it's like we may not know much about this, but what we do know about a lot is just viruses in general. And we know that the more that people are out and about in public and in closed spaces, in groups and crowds, the more that it spreads, uh, however that is, by touch or air or whatever it may be. So, it's just really up to people, if everybody rushes out again and thinks that everything's just good to go and gets in huge crowds again and are interacting with lots of people every day, then it could, for sure. You got to think about, the math of it too, is that, every one person that you come into contact with, that person may have come into contact with 10 other people, and each one of those people may have come into contact with 10 other people. So by that time, you know, by the time you come into contact with that one person, that could be hundreds or that could be thousands of other people's germs, whatever it may be that you're coming into contact with. And that's what you really have to keep in mind. That's the math of the situation. It's not just that, oh, well, I only saw one person today. Well, you don't know if that's a cashier, that person may have saw 100 people, and those people might have saw 3 or 4 people apiece, And so we're still looking at thousands of people. And so it's what it really comes down to is math, If you can limit the amount of interactions that you have, you can limit how much things spread. Yeah. Well, they made a lot of movies about it, and some of the movies were made specifically because we knew that stuff like this was going to happen. We know that every 100 years or so this happens. In fact, I have a photograph now sitting on my phone that I didn't even realize what I had taken the photograph of. Well, I mean, I realized what it was, but I didn't realize how poignant it was. It was when I was taking some of the videos, or filming the episode that I did near Prophetstown, and I had filmed some grottos, and one of the it looked like a mausoleum, but it was a memorial. It was like partially a war memorial, and on the other side was a photograph of a nun, and she was somebody that had passed away in the last flu epidemic from 100 years ago. In 1918, she had passed away from the flu because she had been helping to treat the sick people from the epidemic. And it's like it's the same thing now. It's like the more you can do your part to not spread it, the quicker it's going to go away. And so it's like we know a lot about this. We've been through this before. We've known that this is a potential. We've known that this will happen. We've known what we need to do, to prevent it and to deal with it for a long time. It's just how quickly and how well we've implemented it that has been the difference between good and bad. Yeah, it's always good to have a savings for sure. Absolutely. But yeah, it's just really up to all of us, whether we're leaders or whether we're just your average everyday citizens, to do our best here and to limit interaction, because again, it's the same thing with a cold. It's no different. I mean, obviously it's different, but in terms of like spreading, it's very similar to a cold or flu. It's like if you're worried going out in the winter and catching a cold because you're at the mall, then chances are, it's smart to be worried about this, and obviously it's a lot worse symptoms. So we should be even more focused and more vigilant in our efforts to to stay safe here. So it's it's just something that, again, yeah, it's sad that it becomes politics and it becomes beliefs and all this when it's like we've known for a long time a lot of the facts around stuff like this, and we know what needs to be done. So you just gotta to make good decisions. Well, yeah, they're not sending them back to school here for the rest of the year. Yeah, I don't. That's strange. Yeah, I know around here they're done for the year. They're all homeschool until next year. But yeah, I would agree. It doesn't seem like a good idea. But you know, it's just one of those unfortunate parts of being human. I think is that it's like when the colds and the flus come out, in the winter. They can be very dangerous too, but people still take the risk and still take the chances, and often they're not wearing their masks. They're not. It's like before this. I mean, how many Americans did you ever see wearing masks around? And the answer is almost never. And if you were to go to places like Japan, like I said earlier, um, they're in a big habit of wearing masks even when this isn't happening, because they don't want to spread these things around during times of the year when everybody's huddled together and indoors. So, if like I said, if we can learn anything from this, it's like stop worrying what you're looking like, stop worrying about what people think of you wearing a mask, and just be safe and do the right thing. And again, we're doing it not just for ourselves but for everybody else around us too. you know so maybe we can just all learn as a society to be just a little bit smarter and realize that we all have the power. you know so that's that. But yeah, I could go either way. I figure it's just the level of effort that people are willing to put into making it not an issue anymore. And if you want to go and look at some great reading, look at places like New Zealand. They've had some great success in fighting this, And maybe if we can model ourselves after New Zealand, if the rest of the world can maybe model themselves after that, then maybe we too could have that success. Yeah. Well, that another thing I was saying too is like, online stuff is cheaper anyway, whether it's online college or whether it's online working. A lot of jobs can be done from home. I know a lot of people that were in logistics and a lot of different office jobs that were able to continue from home during this whole thing, and it makes me wonder, like, why would you why would that same company send all those people back to work in the office when not only could they potentially get sick again, even if it's not something bad, maybe it's just a cold, or maybe it's the flu, which is bad but not quite as bad. Maybe we could save some money by not having to pay for electric bills and heating and air conditioning in a gigantic office when we can just as easily have people working from their own home offices. So, and it would help to prevent future situations like the one that we're in right now. So it's kind of interesting. It'll be kind of interesting to see which companies choose to continue implementing the work from home for potentially maybe years to come, and I hope that they do, because it's a waste of money to have a bunch of people who are capable of working from home working in another place that has to be, again, heated and cooled and provided with additional electricity, provided with internet access, break rooms, and all of the things that go along with business and buildings, and they already have all of that in their own home. What has been my favorite adventure? I don't know. Probably. I really don't have any big favorites. Maybe some of the bigger trips, like going out west. Some of like the Kentucky trip was a lot of fun. Um, the bigger stuff is always fun, just because it's a it's a bigger operation. You're going out, you're staying for days at a time out on the road, going to further away locations. So anytime that I'm out on the road for multiple days at a time is probably some of my more favorite things. Yeah, I saw some of the auto workers going back. I did notice that the Tesla was opening as well. Yeah, again, I mean, I definitely feel, I don't know, mixed feelings about it. You know, as from one perspective, it's good to know that people are able to make money, but at the same time, it's like, not at the expense of their health or life. That's not definitely not worth it. So I don't know. I'm definitely pro slow opening. I want it to go as slow as possible. Um, and if that means, the rest of us doing a better job at helping, then maybe that's what has to happen. But I definitely feel like the slower that we reopen the world, the better off we're going to be. And that's just from a mathematical standpoint and nothing else. Um, I don't really care about the politics behind it. We're just talking about pure math and medical knowledge that has been accrued over the generations. And again, like I said, it's like we may not know as much as we need to about this current situation, but what we do know a lot about is viruses. Yeah, I can imagine I'd be a little bit worried about sending people back to school or any crowded location. Yeah, again, I think as much as we can continue to do things at home that we're capable of doing at home, it'll be for the best. Even, like I said, in the long run. you know. Obviously, homeschooling is a slightly different situation, but at the same time, for safety purposes, it's definitely safer to be at home. But like I was saying though, like for business, it's, you know, unless you're in a job that has to be hands on with something, then you know you really can work from home. If you're picking up a phone, or if you're working at a desk with a computer for a living, um, you know, the most of the people with those jobs are capable from doing that job at home, and it's um, both cheaper and more productive often. You know, in fact, I've seen a lot of studies that have said that people work much harder when they don't have a set schedule, and will actually typically work longer hours when they're able to define their own daily schedule, or even work from their own home office. So I think there's a lot of positive data that says it'd be a good thing for people to just stay home indefinitely, not necessarily from all public places, but at least from the workplace. Like if we can get it down to just the bare essential, you know, if you can work from home, work from home. If not, then come in. Then we'd be safer for generations to come in, and more efficient too. You know, again, like I said, like you're doubling all your bills, not necessarily for the company, but like just in general. You know, if you have a person that's already paying an electricity bill and an internet bill and has a computer or a laptop or a tablet at home, and they have a business that they work at, that they go to an office and sit at a desk at a computer and they work on that computer in a climate controlled office that has electricity and an internet connection, they already had all that at home, and now the office is paying that additional overhead to supply that in a third location or in a second location, that person could do that same that same exact job from home, and it would save the business, and it would probably enable them to even pay that same employee more money for the job, because they're not losing money from the bills that they have to pay to maintain the building and the property. So, you know, you think of some of these huge businesses where they have 1,000 people in cubicles, and they have a gigantic building, and then they have a huge lawn outside, and they're paying thousands and thousands of dollars a month for lawn care, and they're paying for electricity cost, and you know, it's like it gets really expensive, and you think a lot of these businesses could save millions of dollars a year just having these same people work from home anyway. So, and it's safer at the end of the day. You know, when flu and cold season come, you're not going to have all these people calling in sick. You're not going to have people that can't come to work. You know, if they can get up and work a few hours, from home, then it's going to be more efficient, and you're going to get more done. And ultimately, they're going to make more money. So, I mean, it's good for everybody all around. So I hope that people just stick with it, you know. Again, I hope that some things reopen. Obviously, if we can get the parks back open eventually here when it's safe, get the public spaces back open when it's safe, and get, you know, people outdoors and traveling again, and doing the things that they love to do. But at the same time, like when it comes to work-related things, it just doesn't seem necessary to me to send a lot of these people back to work ever. Well, I mean, back to work, yes, but back to the workplace, no. Like, well, if you're an office person, I think, in my mind, from here on out, you should, obviously, the business being involved in the decision, but you know, I feel like we should make or have these people be working from home. You know, it's safer, healthier, and again, helps to prevent things like this in the future, while saving people money. So, you know, it's a win-win-win. More money for employees, less expenses for employers, less risk of virus infections in the future. Like, why not? You know, it should definitely be the work from home revolution in my mind. But that's just my opinion. I think it's a very good opinion, though, in my mind, from an efficiency and mathematical standpoint. That's my feelings anyway. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see if anybody not listens to me, because I don't think a lot of people, other than the people that see my work on YouTube, probably even listen to what I have to say. But at the same time, hopefully some of that gets implemented. But again, only time will tell. But yeah, I think it's going on 1 o'clock here. Things are starting to wind down a little bit here. I think instead of just trying to make an extremely long stream, what we'll do is end it off here, and then I'll try and take you all on the road with me either tomorrow or Sunday. I'm not sure exactly when. It depends on how much the weather cooperates over the next few days here. You never really can tell in this area. Sometimes it's supposed to rain and then it's sunny all day, like sort of like today. It was supposed to be cloudy all day and it was sunny half the day, so who knows. But if I can get out and do a live stream from like the trail or from the road, I would like to try and do that instead of just trying to drag this stuff on. And then again, like I said last time, if I can figure out some sort of good day to do like a long stream, to go for like a record type stream, like a all night stream or a 24-hour stream or something like that, once I've got the computer all set back up and ready to go here in the next few days, then maybe we'll try and do something like that, where it's like it's a stream for a reason, and we'll try and break it up into different segments and maybe do different things. Or I don't really know, who knows, maybe if I can figure out like a giveaway, we'll do like a giveaway or something, or I don't know. I'm trying to figure something out, but I definitely want to make something interesting for everybody, and I want to keep the content coming on 539. It's just been, yeah, I've been getting hit from every angle recently, and I think finally now I've got everything back up to the point where we can begin being very productive, and that's what I'm hoping. This will finally be the time, so we'll see. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I appreciate it. So here's the deal again. If you don't already have Instagram and you want to check it out, make sure you check out Instagram and check out my account over there, also at 539 Productions. If you have Instagram and you haven't checked it out, same thing, make sure you check that out. I will try and update everybody via my Instagram stories, and obviously, like I said, I put up lots of still photos from the adventures around the country onto that account. So if you're into regular still photography, then check that out. And obviously, like I said, some of that stuff's it's a little bit more my forte. I've been into photography for a lot longer. I do a lot of black and white work. I'm going to be doing a lot of film work when my Polaroid stuff comes in here on Monday. And so I'm looking forward to taking that out on the road with me, and then taking my other film cameras out on the road with me and doing that. And I put a lot of time and effort into my photography, so it's not just snapshots from the road. It is a lot of times a more artistic type of photography and artwork up on there. So if you're into that sort of thing, or you love the black and white side of things, or selective color photos where maybe most of the photos in black and white and there's just a small little sampling of color in there somewhere. If you like artwork like that, make sure you check out the Instagram. I've got a lot of my Photoshop work, again, a lot of my film work, not a lot of my film work, some of my film work, a lot of my rock and roll photography work from back in my days of photographing rock bands, and obviously all the recent work any recent work that I do traveling. I put all my still photography up on there, so obviously it's been a little bit of time since I've been out on the road, so there hasn't been as much recently, and some of my older stuff that I've been going either reposting or finding old photos that I haven't posted. Oh, sorry, I'm missing some stuff. Am I going to? That's still in the works. I'm still working on it. I haven't been able to get the guitar out to fix it yet, so um, but we'll see. If I can get the oh yeah, that's the other thing too. All the equipment for the music is hooked up to the computer, so I have to fix that before I can do it. This is all from my iPhone right now, so that's why I can't do any music tonight, because I have nothing that is hooked up. So I've got to reinstall all my applications, get the effects processor hooked back up to the soundboard. I got to get the guitar resoldered and permanently, well, permanently soldered. It came loose last time, so yeah. Eventually, the music stuff will happen. Um, I'll probably actually pull out my guitar and fix it here in the next few days. I was hoping to get some um, heat wraps for the string, or not for the strings, for the wires, but I don't know if I'm going to do that or if I'm just going to solder and hope for the best. Yeah, it'd be fun to do a live stream from the road. I used to do streams driving, but it's been sort of hard without having a good car mount. Hey, thanks. You have a good one too. Appreciate you being here. But yeah, I have been looking to upgrade that too, so I can do more live streams from the car again. I was trying to find a good app, because I know if I stream the right way, I can actually have text, text to speech, so that at least some of the messages can still come through, and I can answer questions and still interact with everybody without having to be dangerous and read a tiny little screen with tiny little comments on it while I'm trying to drive. So, and plus holding the tripod after the few times that I tried doing the driving streams, it just became incredibly hard, because after a couple hours of holding the tripod up in my hand and pointing it out a window, you just get incredibly sore, and it's not a lot of fun. So if I can get it rehooked up so that I can have a mount that isn't as bad. I don't know, for whatever reason, the mount that I had made the phone flip out. It could not handle it. It didn't understand how to stabilize the video, and it would just vibrate back and forth, and it looked completely unwatchable. So if I can figure out that problem, and then figure out the text to speech from the phone, then I definitely will do some driving streams again. But yeah, that's definitely in the works too. I've been trying several things. It's some stuff that a lot of people don't see that happens in the background. Sometimes I try things and then they fail, and then no one ever knows that I even tried it. But like with the car stuff, I tried several times to fix the car problems and bring back the driving streams, and it never did work out quite right. I need to get out to a more pro camera shop, like in Chicago or New York, or potentially visit them online. I'd rather be in person though, so I can get some more advice from some people who have done it before, and figure out a more stable way of broadcasting from the car, and a more reliable way too. I need to get some potentially equipment to enhance my signal in terms of my cellular network, so I can stream more reliable from these remote locations. And I know a few ways to accomplish that, and so I'm really hoping to upgrade that here in the near future too. So I really want to make a system where it's easier to hop on and do interesting content without having to constantly worry about the equipment and the signal and the buffering and stuff like that. So definitely going to have a lot in the works here over the next few months. Thanks, Lynn. Appreciate it. So, All right, guys. Appreciate you all being here. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Thanks for, again, being patient with me over on 539 as well as the second channel here. I think we're finally through the woods with everything in terms of some of the content. I do think that we're going to be able, like I said, to start having at least a little bit of safe new content for 539 and to be able to do some more diverse live streams over here on the second channel, and hopefully a lot more often as well, without these big 3-week, 4-week breaks in between, and actually be able to keep an audience both with you guys not getting irritated with them being so sporadic, and with YouTube hopefully promoting the content at least to my followers. So we'll see how that goes. But again, I'm definitely working on things in the background all the time. I've been doing a lot of research here, and I'm definitely going to be doing a lot of upgrades here, and I've been looking into even getting some upgraded software too to make the even the editing a lot better. So I'm really trying to hold high hopes for the future, and trying to constantly improve things. But again, like I said, hopefully we'll be ramping up things from here on out, and hopefully I'll see you again here real soon, either sometime Sunday or Monday, or at the very least just here in a few days from, once again here just hanging out. I'll at least try to keep you guys all updated, and continue to hang out every once in a while. So, all right, yeah, I appreciate you all being here. Thank you all again for joining me, and I will see you here very soon. Again, if you can, keep updated on social media, and I'll keep everybody as updated as humanly possible. So, all right, you guys have a great night. Bye.